Hello everybody, welcome back to this special Wheel of Time video. Now this was one we promised a few times and I'm sorry we didn't get around to doing it during the series, but we are now going to jump back and we missed 4 of the Wheel of Time origin videos that people kept telling us we should check out. So we are going to smash through all 4 of those now and then have a little chat about them. Are you guys ready to watch this?
We almost need at the beginning of this video to have like a little rewind bit, don't we?
Yeah,
like the old VHS tapes.
There's going to be a lot of information to take in, so I hope you guys are ready.
After watching this, we should put up a poll and be like, now we've seen all the X-rays, should we watch the whole series again? Yeah. Would you watch it?
Well, guess what, guys? I have started watching the whole series again.
I am going to watch the whole series again, but I'm going to do it a couple of weeks before Season 2 gets released. Yeah. So just
I'm up to Episode 4 now. So,
yeah.
And... I think I messaged you guys yesterday to say that I noticed a little bit of whistling from Padam Fane in episode 2 when they got to Shia LaGoff. You can just hear his voice, he's like echo going across the city.
Yeah, some people mentioned that in the comments.
That's why I need to watch it again.
Yeah, so that was quite cool.
Like I said, I think it was in the last one. I was like, I bet he's in every episode. You just had very tiny.
Yeah, I didn't notice him at all in episode 3. But yeah, episode 2, it was actually surprisingly prominent as well. But they kind of made it seem like it was maybe one of the characters whistling, so they kind of mixed it in well. Anyway, we're going to watch these origins now. So the first one we're watching is The Breaking of the World.
Let's go.
Okay, so here we go in 3, 2, 1, go. Tommy, you okay? You can breathe.
No, my English has been terrible the last few days.
I do love the style of these.
Our sisters of the Aes Sedai have sought to understand the breaking of the world. 3,000 years ago, Manetheren and the forces of light struck the Dark One and sealed him away. Before he was imprisoned, the Dark One delivered one last defiant strike. The Dark One poisoned the source of power for male Aes Sedai.
We should have watched this.
This, Manetheren lost his mind. He murdered his beloved wife. He slew his children she bore him. His friends. His court. Everyone. The Dark One released Manetheren from his madness, just to show him what he had done. But it wasn't Manetheren alone who suffered. The poison spread. No male Aes Sedai was spared. And so began the breaking. The time of madness.
Oh,
it was a time
did take it back to the beginning, didn't it?
Rage that destroyed the world. They changed the face of the world and ended the Age of Legends. Humanity is driven to the brink of extinction. What few survivors remained are scattered across a broken and unrecognizable land. The breaking lasts for over 100 years and ends only when the last male channeler alive is gentled. By then, entire civilizations had disappeared. Centuries of progress and knowledge gone. The very lives we live today are shaped by this immeasurable loss. For those of you destined to take the shore, it would be among the most sacred of duties, as an Aes Sedai, to protect the world from another such breaking.
Well, there we go. That was The Breaking of the World.
There's too much information, no?
Okay, so that was The Breaking of the World. A lot of information, and I love that you went, Tom, during that. Well, we should have watched this before. Yeah, no, that was I don't know. I think in retrospect, yes, it would have been good to have watched that at the time, but also I think that we got something different out of watching the series by not having watched that, because like we had to go in being a bit blank on some bits of information and try and piece it together ourselves, whereas
and I did enjoy that element of it, so yeah.
I mean, that was very dedicated there to Louis Therin, I think that's his name, right? Who we obviously saw in the final episode, and how his mind was, how they went and locked away the Dark One, minds became poisoned after doing it, killed his whole family. But that stuff we kind of knew. But I was we knew that obviously it corrupted him. We didn't quite know how it went. But the thing that I really wondered about was how the world reset and what happened in that.
Well, he went fucking supernova, didn't he?
It did. The whole world
just ripped apart.
Well, the breaking that just destroyed the world and basically reset it back to square one, ending the Age of Legends. And they said it lasted for 100 years and it only ended when the last male was gentled. Yeah. Really cool. What did you guys think of that one?
I liked it. I just liked how dramatic it was, like the breaking of the world.
Yeah.
Which again, like you, I didn't realise how it was, how that part of it happened.
Yeah, I kept wondering whilst we were watching, especially that last episode, because obviously we knew this was 3,000 years ago. It was like, okay, so how far back did they almost get, reset, as it were? Because it must have been substantial, right? Because they had flying cars.
Yeah. It'd be like us going back even before, it'd be like us going back to the Stone Ages, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah, it was.
Thoughts, Tom?
Well, there was a lot of information in it. I think it was. Yeah. So Luz Therin and the Forces of Light put away the Dark One.
I think it was 99 people he went with, wasn't it? I think we've been told. They didn't say that in that video, but someone in the comments mentioned that he went there with 99 other, male Aes Sedai or whatever.
I think after watching that.
He did mention it in the episode, didn't he?
Yeah, it was in episode 8.
Yeah, he did mention it in the episode, yeah. Yeah, he did say that it was, that amount that went there, and they said that some of them were far stronger than Moraine, I believe.
Oh, they did,
yeah, it was just interesting. The break-in was called The Time of Madness, which makes sense. But also, I think...
Time of Madness, yeah.
I take back everything I said.
All of it?
Ever.
Everything you've ever said.
I've forgotten her name. The lady from the Red Archer.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I've got it written down.
I suddenly not remember her name.
Pages.
Yeah. Yeah, I suddenly can't remember her name. We know.
Either way.
Though. Yeah. You think she's a bit more justified?
I like her.
Yeah. It does kind of make you think that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Just for what destruction can happen, sometimes drastic measures are needed, but.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
Leandrin.
Leandrin, there you go. Yeah. There you go. I really like the animation style of these.
Yeah, I love it.
Great. If I had one negative, I don't like when they speak. I think it looks a bit creepy when they're speaking. But the actual production as a whole is great. It works well as a VO. Character speaking looks a little creepy. But as a whole, these are really, really cool. And really do help to fill in some of the blanks. Anyway, should we move on to the next one? So the next one is The Fall of Manetheren. Now we know, especially from as I rewatched
Manetheren.
Yeah. This was that battle that they had by the river. Do you remember the two rivers that was a little bit like 300, where they were singing about it, and then they were like cry for Manetheren, and it was like again it was a lot like the 300 Spartans trying to hold back the Persians, where they were fighting an army, and actually I'll tell you one thing that was I noticed from rewatching, really interesting. They talk about how the queen, the king's the king's wife, obviously, how once they were defeated, she kind of channeled all of this power in to destroy all of the enemies, and she overdid it, and then it burnt the life out of her. Which was something that we obviously saw happen in episode 8.
Yes.
Which was a nice little... I was like, shit.
I didn't even think about that.
That happens in episode 8. Yeah. I'd completely forgotten about it. So when I saw that little bit in episode 2, when I rewatched, I was like, oh, that's cool. That is a little bit of planting the seed there. Anyway, shall we get ready to watch episode 2, The Fall of Manetheren?
Yep, ready.
Okay, so let's go in 3, 2, 1, go.
1,000 years after the breaking, battles still raged against the forces of the Dark One.
New pile of bodies there.
With the towers of Manetheren to their backs, King Aemon and his army defended their people.
What little lads.
Battling through unrelenting days and nights, they held their city against Trollocs, dark friends and dreadlords until they could no longer hold the river from crossing.
I love that one.
Yeah, it's cool.
Behind the honor of the Red Eagle banner, retreat found no place amongst them.
It's almost like a hint of a Blade Runner-esque score behind this.
Oh shit.
This is really
that is intense. Look at that. Oh, look at Barris in the back. Oh, look at that, taking like a boss.
And the sword that could not be
right
broken was shattered.
Oh, here we go.
From behind the walls of the emptied city, Queen Eldrine sank with King Aemon's death. And so her heart and kingdom found their end.
Here it goes.
Jesus.
Could she have led with that?
Hope they evacuated first.
Yeah, would have been a good starting point, wouldn't it?
And today in the Two Rivers, where Manetheren once stood, the wheel continues to turn.
I think for animation alone, that's my favourite.
Really? So
yeah.
That was the fall of Manetheren. That was good. I enjoyed that. I think that actually out of all the ones we've watched, I feel like that's the one I got the least from.
Oh, information-wise, yeah. That's what I mean,
yeah.
visually-wise, yeah. That was that little
cool.
That little battle scene with the Trollocs was bloody awesome.
Yeah, no, that was really cool. I mean, everything that was covered there happened to be the things I just mentioned.
Yeah,
just before we watched
it was. Yeah.
So, but it was cool to see. It was nice. It was awesome to actually get to see that, and it makes sense, right? This location for battling them as well, because we know that like the Trollocs aren't, they can't handle going for the rivers and stuff, right? So if you're going to be if you're going to be holding off like an army, a huge army like that, you want to be able to like siphon them into as smaller numbers as you can, if you see what I mean. So as they can't cross the river, by doing that, you limit how many of them can attack you at a time.
Well, that's the thing, right? You meet them in battle, but you've got the option of worst case scenario, taking down the bridges if you fail, haven't you? So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, it's like, again, like I say, it's for me, it's very reminiscent of the Spartans and the 300.
Yeah.
How they fought the Persians through those very tight chasms, and so that they could only ever be sending in so many warriors at a time, because obviously by sheer numbers alone they could completely overpower them. But if you can pick the point where the fight actually takes place, you can sort of turn it in your favour. That was cool. Like you say, could have done with leading with that spell. Eh?
Yeah.
That might have made the difference. It was cool seeing them find the old crown at the end as well, which I know I say this a lot. It gave me even more Lord of the Rings feels. Like when they find the one ring in the river after it's been lost for so long.
Oh yeah, finding the crown. Yeah.
Yeah. Finding the crown at the end there.
Tom,
thoughts?
Yeah, there's not too much more to add. I guess, I know you both said, why didn't she just do that first? I mean, I know.
It's more of a
but I
joke
guess
though,
the only
right?
reason is, it's probably the most powerful person in that city, so you don't really want them to die first, just in case.
Yeah, but I suppose, like you said, that power's caused by her anguish and pain and her loss and grief and stuff, isn't it? Probably wouldn't be able to summon those powers without that.
Yeah, it's not the kind of power she could have just called on day one, right? She had to wait to go Super Saiyan until, at least I think it was 13 days. I think they said the fight went on for from calling back to the episode because they were told that
day and night. Because Trollocs aren't resting at camp at night time.
No, it's like, well, they're just eating each other, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, they said that they were told if they could hold out for 3 days, help would come. And it was like on day 10 they decided help wasn't coming. I think I'd have made that decision by day 6 or 7. Like
maybe earlier.
But apparently it was like 13 days or something the fight went on. I think so. Right.
I also think that was very reminiscent of the final episode. Obviously, she lost the king. We also lost the king in episode 8, although it was her brother and not her husband. But still, the same thing happened.
Yeah,
really.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were both, like well outnumbered battles, weren't they? Fighting fighting in an area where they had control over it. They had that kind of tower in episode 8 where they could control the flow of the enemy. Not quite as well, clearly, but obviously they didn't do quite as well holding out for 13 days.
It was like 13 minutes, wasn't
it? And the king just went down.
King pretty much, yeah.
Didn't even pull his sword out.
I'm sure it'd have been a lot different if COVID wasn't around when they filmed that.
I'm sure it would have been a lot different.
I'm sure it'd have been a Two Towers-esque battle.
Oh, I did also like... We are going off on tangents here, left, right and centre. But I did like, in episode 8 comments, people were telling us, Eye Patch Guy is a badass in the book. They just did him wrong in the episode. So, yeah. But again, limitations of COVID, maybe, who knows? There are people there saying that
that's what I
he's
saw.
not dead.
Some people are holding hope that he might come back. He's got ultimate swagger. I need to rewatch it. I need to start walking like that guy. Hand on belt, elbow slightly bent, just walking around like you're pissed off all the time. Right, so up next we've got The Greatest Warder, which I'm interested to watch actually because I feel like this is going to be one that we maybe don't know a lot about. I don't feel like maybe they've spoken much about this Greatest Warder up until now.
You can't beat Lan in my eyes.
You just think this is like a love story to Lan.
Yeah.
Well, should we find out?
Let's find out.
Okay, right. So here we go. This is episode 3, The Greatest Warder. 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Closer! Firstly, pick your blasted heels in water. With a line. Blood and ashes.
Blood and ashes.
On your feet.
Sir, yes. The greatest swordsman.
A man without history. Only legends pass through the ranks of the warders.
Here he is.
His prowess with a sword knew no equal.
To be fair, he looks pretty badass.
In battle, all who should cross him found themselves at the far end of his blade. Save one. Victories and a single loss to a farmer with a wooden quarterstaff. His sole defeat became a legacy. Never again underestimate your fellow man. Respect the wielder, not the weapon.
Who is the greatest blade master of all time?
Interesting.
There we go. That was interesting. That was episode 3, The Greatest Warder. Right, guys, what do you think? I'm going to shut up to begin with. I want to know what you think.
I kind of took from that it's pretty much what he said at the end. It's not about, you can have all the tricks and all the fancy armor and all the legends behind you, but if you're up against someone who's potentially desperate or protecting their family or doing something for the right reasons, then they might be able to overcome you. That's kind of what I was taking from that. But they spoke about a farmer. You don't know what he was defending.
Yeah. I guess I got 2 things. I think first one is he kind of seemed on his own. So does that mean warders years and years and years and years ago didn't follow an Aes Sedai? They just followed themselves. Also,
yeah, okay, they were just like warriors.
I like how he said, I think it's along the lines of the man would know history or the warder would know history, and it made me think do any of them actually have history really? Because they all just do what the Aes Sedai does, so it's more the Aes Sedai's history that they follow, and they're just part of their history.
They're more like a part of.
They don't have their own.
I get you.
Which is quite sad.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they don't kind of make their own legend, as it were. They kind of are a follower, a bodyguard type. Yeah, no, I enjoyed that. But yeah, it was really seemed to be about the fact that as you say, Jez, it's like he had 10,000 victories and 1 loss, and it's like I think it's partly about not becoming too cocky, not being too confident. Going into just because you've won that many times before doesn't mean you're going to win every fight, especially if somebody wants it more, right? It's not the size of the
yeah, that's what it was about the person. Yeah, it was about the person who wants it more, and their
exactly
their reasons for fighting.
Yeah, I think for them it's about not being cocky and not instantly thinking that you've got this. You have to take each fight as it comes. It's that kind of I can't think of the name for it. It's called like the Superman theory or something like that, where it's like Superman has to win every single time, right? The bad guys only have to win once.
Yeah.
Like it's that it's that kind of idea. Not saying the farmer guy's a bad guy, but just that idea that your story ends as soon as you lose. And so it's that kind of thing. Also, what it made me think a little bit about
Lord of the Rings.
It made me think... no, not Lord of the Rings, actually. His story specifically made me think a little bit about The Witcher. One, he looked a little bit like Geralt, but after that, if you know the Witcher video games, now this isn't something I don't think that happened in the books. I'm only partway through the books. Geralt goes on and fights all these monsters, all these creatures, and eventually he gets killed with a pitchfork by a villager in a town from an angry mob, and then gets kind of brought back to life from there. But Geralt is at one point killed just by a guy in a village. So I wonder if there is some inspiration one way or the other there, from this story. But that's instantly what it made me think about, because a farmer stitched them both up.
Yeah.
So watch out for farmers; they are badasses, apparently. No, it's a cool little piece. I thought we were going to maybe get some more details on this Greatest Warder, but as you say, he's like he's a man with no history, right? So, no, interesting.
Let's go.
We've got 1 to go.
Yeah.
So the last one we've got is Saidin, Saidar, Stone. So, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go with this one in 3, 2, 1, go.
Born in the spine of the world, its waters flow almost entirely unimpeded, until it finds itself here, when the island of Tarvalon splits the mighty river Erenin into 2 halves. Thousands of years ago, long before the walls of our great city were razed by Ogier hands, there existed a great era of humanity. The Age of Legends was a time of advancement. Philosophy, science, technology. What little knowledge survived the breaking alludes to incredible progress. Society benefited through true collaboration as female and male Aes Sedai worked together with each half of the one power. Saidar and Saidin woman and man, halves of the whole. Two paths from the same source, the true source. When men touch Saidin, it's wild and unwieldy, a raging torrent resisting. And after the Dark One corrupted Saidin, the madness is unavoidable. Tainted upstream, the two cannot be separated. When women touch the true source with Saidar, we surrender and guide. In its gentleness we find its infinite power. To master these waters will take time and practice. My daughters, let us begin. Empty yourself of your thoughts. The only thing in your mind is the bud of the flower. Only that. You can see every detail, every vein, every leaf, every curve. Feel it, know it. You and the bud are one.
Ooh, I like that.
Okay, so that was Saidin, Saidar, Stone.
I really liked the visual reference of the male Aes Sedai fighting against the power, but then they obviously become one with the power. So they were then, you saw the visual reference of them going downstream with the water flow. But the females, when they kind of accepted it and just guided it, they were then, you saw the visual element of them going upstream, if that made sense.
Yeah, it was quite
they were able to navigate it, and you saw the male fighting, and then was just going with the stream, and then
it was almost kind of like consumed by fire as well to begin with, like the flames wrapping around them, and I think the thing that I thought was coolest there was it's the first time that we've really known that actually the male and female sides of the power are just intrinsically different.
Yeah,
like it's not just men are corrupted when they use the power and women aren't. It's that the side of the power that they tap into are distinctly different from each other.
I wrote down. So I wrote down 2 words for each. So for the Saidin, which was for the male Aes Sedai, was how she described it. The power as raging and unresisting. So it's just like,
yes,
it was really strong, and I guess the males couldn't handle it because it was just a bit crazy. And it was like that even before the Dark One tainted it.
Yeah, the Dark One. Yeah, and I guess that's probably part what made it easy for him to taint it and to muddy it and control it in that way, because it was already such an unpredictable element for them.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting. And then for the Saidar, 2 words I wrote that she said were surrender and guide. So it's almost like the men were always fighting against it because they were like, I don't know, I'm a man, I want to be more powerful than the power.
They were fighting to control it, right? Almost like be a master of the power.
Yeah, right. That's what I saw. That's why I saw it by the river visualization. You saw that the guy within the river was almost fighting against the current. The whole time, and then obviously become one with it and got swept away. Yeah,
whereas the women, the female Aes Sedai, they just let the power, like let the current take them and show them how.
Like it wash over them. And
yeah.
And actually, something interesting to do that, relating back to the episodes as well, though it's not the Aes Sedai, think back to episode 1 when the wisdoms are being like when Egwene is sort of being given her her braid, they push her into the river, if you remember, and she goes down with the current. She follows the river down.
And they told her not to fight it, didn't they?
Exactly. It feels like it kind of runs in line with that as well, doesn't it? So there's lots of nice little nods to this when you go back and rewatch it. Well, that was a lot of info to take in, but I'm glad we've watched them. Sorry everybody who's watching this for the delay in getting to these, but we promised we would. I'm sure there's plenty there that everyone can say we missed, but you know what? We gave it our best shot, all right?
We did. We tried.
Hopefully you've enjoyed this. If you have, please stick with us. We will definitely be back for season 2 when season 2 comes about. If there's anything else that you think we should check out now, we've got various other shows going on as we speak. But if there's anything in particular that you think we should check out, then please drop it in the comments below. We're always happy to take in people's input, suggestions on show we should do next. Having a lot of suggestions saying we should look at The Expanse. I've heard very good things. Yeah. Maybe that's one we should look at. But if you've got any other ideas, please let us know. Also, look in the description. There is a link to our Discord server where you can come along and you can chat with us about some of your favourite shows. I know Tom has been talking with some people about... You've been talking about all kinds of stuff, right, Tom? You've been talking a little bit about the legal...
We talked about Wheel of Time, obviously.
Arcane, yeah.
Then, obviously, like you said, Expanse, people will be talking about it in there. So, yeah, it's good. It's nice to chat to people in Discord and just get different opinions on what people think.
Yeah, please come along and join in. Also, remember to head over to allmaverick.com where you can check out our videos, our blogs, our podcasts, all of our news, film, TV, games, all that kind of stuff. And if you go to twitch.tv/allmavericklive, Tuesday and Thursday evenings, 9 PM British time, you can come and watch us play some of our favourite games, chat with us, chat with the community, and just generally have a bit of a laugh.
That's what it's all about.
Thank you for watching this. Yes, exactly. Thank you for watching this. If you've enjoyed it, please leave a like. And hopefully we will see you in some of our future videos. And if not, hopefully we'll see you for Season 2 of Wheel of Time when it comes out later this year.
I just read it's been delayed by the Lord of the Rings series, apparently.
Okay, well...
Which we'll probably do the Lord of the Rings season, definitely.
And when we watch that, you know what I'll do? Every episode I'll go, this reminds me of the Wheel of Time.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for watching, everybody. Have a good one, and we will see you next time.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.